Hi, and thank you for joining me for today's process video. And today I just wanted to grab my Vicki Boutin Bold and Bright and use this background paper, which I've had my eye on for a while. So I've got two photos that are printed 3x4. They're not particularly clear photos, but it's the story that I really wanted to tell. So Amelia and James, my children, went out for milkshakes on Thursday evening. Since James has learnt to drive, they've started having these sort of dinner dates on a Thursday evening, or date nights, I suppose, on a Thursday evening. They've been to a Greggs drive-through near James's college, and then this Thursday they chose to go down to Cheshire Oaks to go to Ed's Diner to have some milkshakes. It's something that Amelia has been wanting to do for a while, so James took her down. It's so sweet, and I'd asked specifically that they sent me photos, so Amelia did send this one photo of the two of them in the mirror at Ed's Diner, and then another one of their two milkshakes. They're not massively clear, but like I say, it was the story that I really wanted to tell, so that's what I'm doing. So as I say, I printed them 3x4. I used the Project Life app, the Becky Higgins Project Life app, to put two photos onto a 4x6 photo paper so that I could print them out at home. And then I grabbed my Bold and Bright and I matted the photos onto scrap white cardstock and then onto that lovely black paper with gold stars on. You can barely see it, but the gold or iridescent stars do just peek through and make it a bit more than just being on black cardstock. So the reason for grabbing this Bold and Bright, apart from that gorgeous background paper, one of the puffy stickers says a sweet treat, and I thought that was just perfect for the photos of their milkshakes. So that's what I'm going for. But I wanted to create a layout where I had a place to do some journaling, because obviously I wanted to tell the story on this one. So I grabbed the paper that had all of the journaling spots on, and I'm just cutting a couple of those off. I really like this pink one, just to hold the title really on the left hand side, but I'm going to trim off the excess paper so it looks more like an index card rather than a 3x4 card that it is. And then I've also grabbed another one you can see in the background that has that yellow Good Times flag on, and I thought that would be perfect to hold my journaling. So you'll see in a minute, I really fuss with this. I didn't really come in with a plan other than wanting to use that paper and that sticker. I knew that I wanted to use two 3x4 photos, and that's as far as I got. So I stuck them down with great gusto and then quickly changed my mind. And you'll see in a minute, I turn these round and round trying to decide exactly how I'm going to position everything, because I need somewhere for that journaling spot. I wanted that file on the left-hand side that I've got there. So the index card, so you'll see I put the title down, and I'm happy with that, and I'm happy with the way that the arrow points down to their milkshakes, but I just wasn't totally happy with the positioning of everything else when I tried to get it down. So I'm going to start messing about now. So I did consider that green card very briefly, but I decided that the yellow was slightly more subtle and wouldn't be such a statement piece on the layout. But here's where I start turning and moving everything. First of all, I shift it over a bit to the left, but that yellow card is just like a sore thumb against those beautiful bright colours of the bumps on the background paper. So I decided to move those bumps to the bottom of the page, which I think is the way that the paper was designed. And then I move again, I move it round to the left hand side, and this is where I do settle in the end. So I've still got the title on the left, and I've got that journaling card on the right. I do move it up slightly shortly, but then I saw on this printed paper that it had these arrows that says this one and that one, and I thought that would be really nice to point to their two milkshakes, just for a little bit of embellishing really. So there's that card that's going down there to the right, and I'm going to add my journaling shortly. I wanted to get the journaling down so that I didn't start covering that card with other bits and pieces and then not leave myself room to write my story. So here it is. So just writing down what I've told you about the fact that they started going out for date nights, and this particular night they'd chosen Ed's Diner. And so now I'm going to go through my ephemera envelope. I've got all of the papery pieces and an ephemera pack all together in this little bundle, so I'm just going through there to see what I can add. I love these word phrases. They're on perforated paper. I don't really like when I tear the perforations, so I decided to trim down each one, and the colours sort of bleed into each other, so I just trimmed off the colour from the label next to them. So I've got Snapshots and Stories, which is the bright pink one. I've got Super Cool, which is orange with pink writing on, and then Adventure Awaits, which is pink on pink. So they all work really nicely with this paper. They are all going to be raised up onto foam as well, just to provide that shadow and some definition and height on the page. So here I am with my Sticks 2 foam pads. These are the 6x12mm ones, which are on a huge roll, and I just trim them up into strips and keep them in one of those little 4x6 photo boxes. It works really well for me. So I'm just roughing up the edges ever so slightly with my fingernails, just so that it's not a straight cut. I did think about putting that bracket, it just fallen onto the page, and I did think about putting that to the left of that sweet treat, but I felt it got a bit lost in amongst all those bright colours, and because there are some white lines on that pattern paper in the background, it was just getting too lost, so I shall save that for a future layout. And then I've got these circular pies that I've been using to ground the word strips, and those have just been fussy cut previously from one of the papers from the collection. That's what I love about Vicki Boutin's collections. There are always so many different bits and pieces that you can fussy cut from the papers, as well as all the ephemera and things that come with them. So just getting everything stuck down. On that bottom circle, I've also got one of the washi stickers, which is like a paint splat in teal, and I thought that worked nicely. And I'm trying to create a bit of a vertical column here. So you can see I've got that bulldog clip at the top, and I've mounted that up onto foam, and that creates a little bit of height there. And then that lovely important piece, that's actually a washi sticker, but I've kept it on the background just so that it stands out nice and white against the photo, otherwise it would have blended into the photo a little bit too much for me. So just getting all these bits stuck down. That's that washi sticker I was talking about, so just taking off the backing so that can go down. And then adding a foam sticker to this bulldog clip just to give some shadowing again and a little bit of height to it on the page. I'm going to add my date, oh gosh, where are my words? My date to that left-hand tab on that file tab. And that works really nicely. And then I found this little ticket. It says shopping spree, but I'm going to cover that up a little bit. It was just another piece to bring the eye out to the right slightly. I wanted to make the clusters slightly bigger going into that journaling tag there. So now I'm coming into the 6x12 sticker sheet, and there's some real gems on here. So I start off with this Love It sticker. I do move it down the page a little bit, it was a bit too high. And then this lovely little cloud that says happy, and I just thought that was a really nice sentiment for this story. And then a cluster of 3 hearts. They're like gold iridescent hearts. I really like those. And then I found this little set of words that makes up the phrase, enjoy the little things. And that really stands true of this story. So I wanted to add those to that card just to fill it up and finish that off. And then this little arrow that says wonderful. And this sticker says love it. So you can see how I'm bringing the embellishments out to the left and right of the photos just to make that section a bit wider in the centre of those 2 photos. So now I'm just going to go around with lots of scattering pieces. First of all, from this 6x12 sticker sheet, there are plenty of hearts and stars in that lovely gold foil, sort of iridescent. And then I'm going into the puffy stickers, and there are plenty of scattering pieces on that. These little starbursts and then little dots in all the colours from the collection. And they all work perfectly with these photos. So just dotting those about the page. And that's pretty much it. So I just want to thank you so much for joining me. I've really enjoyed creating this page. I struggled at the beginning knowing how it was going to go, but love how it finished. I hope you like it too. Thanks again. Bye.